Oh, yeah. Welcome, everyone, to this evening's April 22nd Tweed Council meeting. We always begin our meetings with our land acknowledgement. The municipality of Tweed recognizes that our work takes place on traditional Indigenous territories, including the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. We recognize and respect history, languages, and cultures of the First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all Indigenous peoples, whose presence continues to enrich our communities. Miigwech. Please join us now in the singing about Canada. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of this evening's meeting agenda? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any comments on said agenda? Seeing none, be it resolved that the agenda for the April 22nd, 2025 regular council meeting be approved as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Yes, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh.
On 8.1, was the zoning amendment, I think, clear enough.
Do we have to write something later? Okay. Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
8.1 and 8.2, I forgot those two.
Okay, 8.1 and 8.2. Okay. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the adoptions of 3 sets of minutes? April 3rd, 2025 special council meeting, April 3rd, 2025 committee of the whole meeting, and April 8th, 2025 regular council meeting. Move and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh. Any comments on any of those minutes? Seeing none, be it resolved that the minutes of the April 3rd, 2025 special council meeting, the April 3rd, 2025 committee of the whole meeting, and the April 8th, 2025 regular council meeting be adopted as presented. All in favor? Thank you. This is a notification of closed meeting. Council will hold a closed meeting during the regular council meeting pursuant to Section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25 as amended to consider the following matters. B, personal matters about an identified individual, including municipal or local board employees. We'll move on to my mayor's remarks. It is with great pleasure that I announce the appointment of Mr. Ron Diskey as the new Chief Administrative Officer for the municipality of Tweed. Your council was unanimous in selecting Ron with a from a highly qualified pool of 30 applicants. Ron brings an impressive background in municipal leadership, having served as Commissioner of Community and Operations Services for the City of Oshawa. There he managed a team of over 1,000 staff and oversaw a $100 million budget, leading major operational reforms and city building projects. Ron holds a Bachelor of Science from the University of Guelph and a Bachelor's in Administrative Services from York University. His leadership and practical experience will be invaluable as we navigate Tweed's most pressing challenges and opportunities. So I want to get Ron up in front of that camera, and then we're going to do a group photo. And somebody's got to have a camera. So everyone, I'd like to introduce to you Ron Diskey, who is our new CIO. We couldn't be happier. He has many challenges, but he's already working with us on them. Your official start date is May 5th, I believe, right? But he's here working with Kelly to get get a little ahead of it all, and we've had a meeting today, and I'm eagerly waiting to see what you're going to help us with, because I know it's going to be wonderful. Can I get everybody up here while we're getting a camera? I have my phone, but it's no good.
Can I find me in the back?
Oh, here he is. Okay, everybody get up here. Up along. There. Oh. And there. People coming in behind. Okay.
Need the white airplanes.
Oh. We all good?
The cheese.
Jeez.
More. Right on this way.
Good, thank you. Thanks again, welcome.
Thank you. For both of us. I really didn't have to. Thank you.
Now, as thrilled as we are to welcome Ron, there is a sense of loss as we say goodbye to interim CAO Kelly Pender. Kelly, this council and staff are extremely grateful for your sage advice and commitment to serving us through a very turbulent time. You set us on a path to renewal, having launched many ships as we chart a new direction for this municipality's viability. I truly appreciated your guidance throughout your brief tenure with us. We wish you many birdies and eagles in this next chapter. Thank you, Kelly. Let's have another picture. Everybody up here.
There we go. Yeah, you didn't come here. You got it. Come here. Cheeseburger.
Very nice. Kelly will be with us until Thursday, I believe, eh? Okay. On a solemn note, we join the world in mourning the passing of Pope Francis, a leader of unmatched compassion and humility, a tireless advocate for the poor, immigrants, and the planet. He reminded us of the power of kindness, understanding, and moral clarity in turbulent times. He saw the best in each of us, championing the dignity of all people, regardless of background or belief, and was never afraid to speak uncomfortable truths. Today, the world feels a little dimmer without his light. In more uplifting news, congratulations to Potter Settlement Artisan Wines and Sandra Johnson on their 8th consecutive gold medal win for their portage at the prestigious Challenge de Vin in Bordeaux, France, the oldest and largest wine competition in the country. Competing among thousands of entries, Potter Settlement Winery continues to put Tweed on the world map. We're proud of you. And there's even more good news to share. Tweed and Company Theatre has been awarded a $43,000 grant from the Ontario Trillium Foundation. The funding will be used to replace stage draperies and install new energy-efficient LED lighting, important upgrades that are part of the broader renovation underway at the historic Marble Arts Centre in Actinolane. These enhancements will help elevate the audience experience and ensure the venue continues to shine as a cultural gem in our community. On April 9th, I attended Hastings County's Community and Human Services Committee, followed that evening by the enjoyable Land O'Lakes Club Fish Fry. On April 10th, I met with Graham Copstick, Hastings County's new small business coordinator, formerly part of the Enterprise Facilitation Program, which I continue to chair. Graham brings energy and vision to his role, and I look forward to introducing him to our May 27th council meeting. On April 15th, I chaired the Hastings County Planning and Development Committee and then attended the Finance, Property, and Personnel Committee. On April 16th, I chaired the Belleville General Hospital Foundation Finance Committee. Later that afternoon, I joined Graham Copstick for a tour of downtown Tweed to meet local business owners and discuss opportunities for support and collaboration. On April 17th, I attended both the Kiwanis executive and club meetings. This brings me to a serious and concerning, to a serious and reoccurring concern: asset management. At tonight's meeting, our Public Works Manager will present updated numbers showing the cost of maintaining our paved road network, which has doubled. In 2019, the projected 10-year investment for our pavement condition index was 21.4 million. In 2024, it is 41.9 million. That's due to skyrocketing costs of replacing, refurbishing, and resurfacing infrastructure. Our asset management plan requires that we set aside 13.5 million per year for the next decade just to maintain existing infrastructure and service levels. The province has made it clear we must demonstrate how we intend to fund this plan. If the money isn't there, they want to know which services we will reduce or what infrastructure we will have to close. A basic questionnaire to solicit public input will be presented later this evening. You probably heard that the Ontario government recently granted strong mayor power to an additional 169 municipalities, bringing the total to 216 as of May 1st. These powers now apply to any municipality with 6 or more councillors. Bancroft and Hastings Highlands now have this strong mayor powers. Let's be clear. Strong mayor powers allow the mayor to veto council decisions, override bylaws, and amend budgets unilaterally, and hire or fire staff, all without majority council support. They are intended to fast-track housing and align municipalities with the province's agenda. But they also undermine the fundamental democratic principle that each council member represents an equal voice around the table. When you elect your council, you do so on the assumption that everyone has one vote, no more, no less. The system encourages transparency, debate, and consensus. Under strong mayor's powers, your voice is weakened. In many ways, your voice is diluted. Some mayors across Ontario have refused to accept these powers. Others have embraced them recklessly. As your mayor, I stand firmly for democratic governance and shared decision-making. We're stronger together. On the federal front, a general election is underway. I want to again encourage every eligible resident to vote. Apathy is the real threat to democracy. Advanced polls opened this weekend, setting records for voter turnout with over 7 million. That is very exciting. If you don't vote, then please consider these sobering statistics. In the last election, the Conservatives secured an 80-seat majority with 43% of the popular vote, which translates just to 19.5% eligible voters. That's slightly up from the 17.8% in 2022. Only 45.4% of Ontarians voted in the 2025 election. Closer to home, in Hastings, Lennox, and Addington, 83,537 residents were eligible to vote. Only 42,014 cast a ballot. In the US, Donald Trump won the presidency with 32% of the eligible votes. Kamala Harris secured 31%. But an astonishing 85.9 million Americans, 36%, did not vote. And now we see the chaos that followed. Democratic erosion, judicial politicization, deepening divisions, unjustified tariffs, world instability, universities undermined, science abandoned, and the list goes on. Remember, elections have consequences. We must do better. Around the world, people risk their lives for the right to vote. Here, too many take it for granted. Don't wait for perfect candidates. There's no such thing. Vote for the person who best reflects your values, your concerns, and your vision for the future. Voting is both a right and a responsibility, and the future of our community and our country depends on it. Lastly, I want to thank Council for your unwavering dedication. The decisions we've made and the ones still ahead are not easy, but they are necessary. We are fighting for the survival of our municipality, just as small rural councils across Canada are doing. I'm proud to serve alongside each of you. Together, we will get through this and we will come out stronger. Thank you. Okay. We have a notice of motion. The notice of motion is tabled by Deputy Mayor, and it's the reinstallation of speed bumps during non-winter months on River Street West, Hungerford Road, and Jameson Street East. I take it you will move the motion, Deputy Mayor Demarche?
Yes.
Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. I will turn it over to you to walk us through your motion.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So this comes back from multiple over a period of time, community concerns about, speeds coming into town and just the carefulness of the driving, the people are coming in, especially in children's areas. So I'll run through one by one. The concerns coming down River Street is coming into town more so. And they have a crosswalk there that goes over to the school. And even though that we can say that there, there's no statistics to back it, or there's no, maybe they're not speeding, just some, precautionary measures to protect the children crossing there, and then they can stop in ample time coming through there. So that's kind of the River Street idea. Hungerford Road, it's the same thing. The Hungerford Road does have a history with fatalities. And it was actually going uphill. But however, the premise is still the same, coming down the hill right past St. Carth's School where children cross, and even though they cross property or not, they're still crossing there, and the worry is that children crossing will play in the playground even after in summer hours might not be seen in time coming down that hill. So the Jameson Street East one has been a nagging one. That's a high collision intersection. We've been involved in that ourselves. And the concern from the residents up there is that the amount of speed they get from Louisa Street to where the old playhouse was is really concerning to them. And that not enough caution is being taken, even though there's a stop sign there. And with a multiple collision history there, I think it's something that we need to do just to, if not slow it down a little bit and exercise some caution. And I worry about children in all those areas. Children are traversing up towards the splash pad and up through the union and stuff. So I think a little ounce of precaution is better than, or ounce of prevention is better than well, I don't know what the saying is, but than an ounce of regret. So I think that's something that I think we should take a look at is to protect their citizens and protect our children if nothing else. So that's all I have to say.
Any comments, questions? Yes, Councillor Fluid.
Your worship, I do support the deputy mayor's in the regards to the safety of the children, but I don't think, I know that we've had other requests for speed bumps, Alexander Street, Marlbank. And although it might solve the situation in particular areas, we'd have to put speed bumps everywhere, I think. I think we've talked about an association with the Madoc detachment. We've reached out to the detachment commander. I think if we reach out and explain the situation and have some police presence and lay some paper, I'm always the guy that wants to lay paper. And another thing, we've checked out these speed devices that will issue a ticket. I think we need to jump on that right now. We Deputy Mayor DeMarsh and I think Brian, I'm not sure if Brian was in on that conversation or not, but at the Good Roads convention, we talked to two new vendors that one in particular would provide the device. We'd buy the device and they would provide all of the administration. We need to do that now. And I would suggest that we maybe buy a couple of these things and notify the people that we were going to move them around. And even if we had to decrease the speed in the areas of the schools, so be it. I mean, a life of anyone is very precious, especially a small child. But I think we've talked about other ways, and I appreciate what you're suggesting, but I don't think the speed bump thing is the total answer. But I would like to see us move forward and get these speed devices installed in operation and see how we make out. Plus, work with the detachment in Madoc.
Thank you. Anybody else, any comments? Okay, Councillor Valiquette.
So I want to thank the deputy mayor for the motion. I think that it's well intentioned and it's at its core, it's a good idea. Managing traffic to minimize injuries or fatalities is something that falls within our bailiwick. And I think we do need to move forward on something like this, but this is where I'm going to concur with Councillor Fleeler. I don't know if speed bumps are the answer. There are other traffic calming devices out there like flex posts. There's the speed bumps. I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head. There's obviously enforcement or police visibility, that kind of stuff. I would love to move forward on something like this at the locations that you're saying appear fine. I can certainly speak for some speeding on Hungerford Road. And I know that last year at the crosswalk in town and on College and over here, we got complaints about vehicles going through or not yielding to pedestrians. So I think great idea all around. My suggestion would be maybe turn this over to because you've got nothing else to do, turn this over to the manager of Public Works to do a little bit of research to see what in what particular location would be the most effective. And I would prefer to put my money behind what's most effective to reach your goal.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer, do you have anything to share?
I don't want to take up extra time
Okay, thank you.
because of the event tonight, but just a little piece on Jameson, where the visibility issue is at the Playhouse there. I know before we had talked, it was brought up about a four-way stop, and we were worried about traffic coming off of the main street at that intersection, heading that way and being stopped if they were going to the arena. But a three-way stop with people coming towards like Highway Victoria wouldn't impede traffic heading that way and would still allow somebody coming by the Playhouse for it to be visible. So just a thought when you're doing all your fun research. So
Well, thank you all very much. Did you have anything before I comment?
That's good, Mayor, and I certainly agree with some of the thoughts that were put out here. I don't see this as a permanent measure, and I certainly agree with some of the stuff with Councillor Valiquette and with Councillor Fleeler, we had those talks. I see this as a temporary measure till we can enact some of these other ideas. So say if we were to install the cameras, I mean, this would be a temporary measure until that was enacted. Just a and I'd hate to see, you know, we can notify the OPP again, but it only takes one time, and I'm just afraid with the summer coming on that one time could be the worst time. So I don't, like I say, I don't see this as a permanent fixture measure. It's only till we come up with a better idea. And at this time I didn't have it. Again, some of those flagpole things I think that Councillor Valiquette talked, and they have some effect as well. So maybe that's a better idea. I'm not sure.
Okay,
Go ahead.
no, because I'm going to conclude.
Okay, so I think our CAO, I think he told me that we did pass a resolution to move forward with the speed device. I wouldn't swear to it, but I think that's what I heard.
Yeah,
So-
and Ryan can give us some more update, but back in February, we passed a motion on a demonstration purpose to have two of them. And council talked about locations at that time.
Yeah.
The other part of it is before you can install the speed cameras, you have to develop a policy and you have to have the traffic counts and the speed data, which these will provide. We do have most municipalities moving away from speed bumps to the flex posts, just because of emergency vehicles. A fire truck virtually has to come to a stop to go over a speed bump, but has good access through the flex post and then go right over them if they have to. But I'm sure between Ryan and Ron, they can come back with a full report, and Ryan can give you an update on the speed cameras if council so wishes, but we do have two on a demonstration purpose
Yeah,
going. So.
all good.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. A good discussion. I'm not sure if we want to move ahead with the speed bumps at this time, but maybe direct Ryan and his team and our new CAO to maybe look at some possible options and come back to us, investigating everything that was tabled here, including speed bumps, including the flex poles, including reaching out to the OPP, and including the cameras that we've talked about. And then come back to us. And then also building into that for each of those things, anything that we have to do in regards to a policy or a bylaw that you have mentioned in terms of Pender. So, yes.
Build on that abroad.
And yes, and the costing with it, of course. Are you okay if that's the direction we provide?
Yeah, it gives us some options. I didn't have
Okay.
all the answers, but at least
Okay.
it's a working.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. So that was the change, and that was the motion. You got that, do you, Lori? Okay. And are you okay with seconding? Was it you that seconded it? Okay, thank you. All in favor of the new, thank you very much. Thank you. Good discussion. Appreciate that. Oops. Okay, now we're moving into a public planning meeting. Okay, this is where Deputy Mayor Marsh has declared a conflict, so he'll step out of the room. I don't have the I know it off. Okay, so okay, we're going to move into a public planning meeting. For the first one, could I have a mover and a seconder to table zoning amendment ZA6/25? The applicant is Edward Cassidy. Location is 1521 Old Hungerford Road, Concession 6, Lot 13 and 14. Purpose: the purpose and effect of this proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to change the zoning of two 1-acre severed lots from the rural RU zone to rural residential RR zone. The rezoning of the severed lots to RR is a condition of severance files B14A and B149/23, and will provide for the appropriate zoning for the size and the proposed use of the new parcels. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Thank you, Councillor Valley-Kett. Okay, this is a public meeting. Is there anybody in the here in the council chambers that would like to speak to it? I see no one. Is there anybody out there that, okay, the proponent is not here either? Okay. Are there any questions from council? Seeing none. Be it resolved that council authorize staff to bring forward an amending bylaw at the next regular council meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Now we'll move on to a second. This is, could I have a mover and a seconder to table zoning amendment ZA7/25? Applicant Edward Cassidy, location Concession 5, part lot 12. Purpose: the purpose and effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to change the zoning of a 1.06 acre severed lot from the rural RU zone to the rural residential RR zone. The rezoning of the severed lot to RR is a condition of severance files B147/23 and will provide for the appropriate zoning for the size and proposed use of the new parcels. Okay, I see that there's no one here. Is there anyone out here probably on that one? No. And the proponent's not here. Are there any questions from council on the amendment? For me? Oh, I'm sorry. Could I get a mover and seconder on that? Thank you, Councillor Valley-Kett. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Be it resolved that council authorize staff to bring forward an amending bylaw at the next regular council meeting. All in favor? Thank you. You can rejoin us, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Okay, we're moving on to departmental reports. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the administration update as of April 22nd, 2025, please? Thank you, Councillor Valley-Kett. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh. Over to you, Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things that I'd just like to bring to everybody's attention. One is the discussions we've had with ACWA with regards to a rate study. As you know, when we're looking at our asset management plan, there are 3 components that are rate-based: water, wastewater, and the landfill. So this will take care of the water and wastewater portion, and we hope to have a price back to council to complete that at some point in the next little while. Also that, we continue to work with the asset management plan. There's a couple of items coming up, one being the survey tonight, where we will have some discussion in terms of what survey questions to ask. And our new CIO and our manager of public works will be working on a road tour, hopefully early in May, and we'll be bringing that back to you. Also like to thank our former employee, Karen LaValle, who's back helping us with a couple of finance matters. In particular, right now she's working on tax sales. And that's really helped a lot, even just a couple mornings a week to keep the pressure on the finance department off. And as always, we thank Karen for her dedication to the municipality.
Thank you. Any
If there's any
questions?
questions?
Yes, please go ahead.
The only thing that really bothers me is the circular material thing. The path we've been given to follow, in my mind, is unacceptable, but we have to do what we're told, I guess.
Yeah,
And I would strongly suggest that the 444 municipalities work together to solve this thing, because this is gonna, you mentioned three things, the waste site. This is gonna destroy our waste site, guaranteed. That's
Yeah.
all I got.
no, I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you very much. Okay, seeing no other questions or comments, be it resolved that council receive the administration department update as of April 22nd, 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna have a mover and a seconder to table the recycling update transition to extended producer responsibility. Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Council Palmetier. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Okay, up to you again. Kelly.
Thank you to Council Taylor for my introduction. So we're just going to go through a couple of points. And again, this is just as much for council's information. We will be working with staff, so staff have this information when calls come in. But it really will impact, for the most part, our industrial and commercial institutions. So we want to make sure that the information is out there and that everybody understands what's going on. So this presentation and the summary will be on our website. And we'll move forward with that. Having said all that, oops, we've got to join municipal. So this is our update as of April the 22nd, and with all new things, we probably can expect that there will be some changes as we move forward, but this is the information we have as of last week, and I haven't had any updates this week. But so we have entered into a contract with Circular Materials Ontario, which is a not-for-profit corporation established by the province of Ontario. The board of directors are many of the main producers of recycled materials. So the aim of the entire regulation is to make producers responsible for recycling, not municipalities. So I heartily agree with the premise. And as Councillor Fleeler stated, some of the implementation stuff is getting a little bit complicated. So this contract that we entered into, we approved at our council meeting, bylaw 2025-25, will expire at the end of this year with 3 one-year renewals. Circular Materials Ontario, CMO as we call it, will be doing a review and rationalization, their words, of recycling depots moving forward. So at least until the end of this year, people using the recycling depot for home purposes, nothing is going to change. Institutional and commercial will stop being picked up as of July the 17th. So as I said, CMO is going to begin a process at some point over the next 6 months of rationalizing sites, looking at, which sites are gathering the most amount of waste and figuring out a process going forward. Reading between the lines, I don't think rationalizing sites means there's going to be more depot sites. I suspect there's going to be fewer. The costs that we recoup from Circular Waste Ontario, Circular Materials Ontario, is about 40% of our costs to run it, about $6,000 a month. And that's just about what we budgeted for when the previous CAO put together the budget, council approved it. So we're on budget track. We have looked at, our operations, and Ryan and CAO Diskey will be looking at that. And it also depends on the timing of CMO's rationalization process. There might be further changes. But as I said, for most residential customers using the depot now, nothing will change between now and the end of the year.
So talk about their rationalization, their implementation of the rationalization. Is that going to take place
At the end of each contract, you say.
It's
The end of this year, readdition.
correct.
They wouldn't make that change.
Well, they may set a time and then give us notice under the contract, but as it stands right now, it would be the end of this year, the end of next year, the end of 26, 27, and 28, when they could make changes.
So they're not operating on a provincial fiscal year, they're operating on.
Calendar
Okay.
year, correct. Our waste garbage collection, and again, I put this in there because, you know, in a lot of people's minds, the two go hand in hand. The provincial legislation regulation separates the two. But we do have a contract with Waste Management Ontario, which renewed with a 2% cost of living increase for another year. At that point, council will have another decision to whether to continue with Waste Management or go up for.
Now, we
Quinty,
have a clear bag policy. Okay, and if there's recycling in your clear bag, they're not to pick it up.
correct.
Okay, so I think businesses and institutions need to be forewarned that if they try to put recycling into their garbage bag, their garbage won't be picked up either.
Correct.
Okay,
Quinty Waste Solutions, which was our joint board for waste management and recycling, will officially be disbanded. There is a motion on the agenda or a bylaw on the agenda tonight to begin that process. Just seeing the emails back and forth, most municipalities either dealt with it last week or this week. So it will be disbanded. And as that each member municipality gets their approval. Beginning July the 17th, the management of local blue box and recycling will transition from Quinty Waste Solutions to CMO. And at this time, we do not anticipate any changes in the pickup date. So your normal pickup date of Friday will remain as Friday. And there is no change at this point to eligible materials for recycling. So if you're currently getting picked up and you're a residential customer, you shouldn't notice a difference. The collection contract will transition from Quinty Waste Solutions to E360, and that contract with E360 will be managed by CMO, not by Quinty Waste Solutions.
so where does the E360 take all the recyclable items?
It's going to eat about Station Street Belleville.
So it's going to be Belleville.
Effective July the 17th, 2025, the ICI stream industrial, commercial, institutional collection will end. And those institutions will be required to find their own provider for recycling.
Can I, if I may, have you heard of anything happening in either Belleville, Quinty West or whatever to try and deal with this?
I think Belleville and Quinty West are going to be doing independent pickup at their own expense.
Well, yeah, through the mayor, Belleville, Quinty West are going to be keeping the course now. Other municipalities just said, hey, I remember for sure. Senator Hastings have costed this, and it was going to cost them an astronomical amount of money to townships to provide the service. So they have often not to do beyond their fiscal means. So
Do we have any of these other municipalities identified people who our businesses might engage if they want to deal with them directly? Has there been anything in
Not that I've heard.
that you've heard?
I didn't catch.
I was just wondering if anybody has identified someone that would undertake to do that if a commercial or an institutional entity would like to enter into a contract with them.
I haven't heard of any. The only solution I've heard is some institutions have their big dumpsters out back, and that's probably what they're gonna do. It's just so much for recycling. It's all gonna get dumped into one. Right?
Okay, thank you.
Residents will have access to the hazardous waste disposal site on Walbridge Crescent. So that will continue, Walbridge Crescent in Belleville. And there will be the mobile clinics through the end of this year.
Or just going back what the mayor said, are we not, Kelly, having been out at the waste site for non-eligible? Is there one, or am I wrong in that?
For non-eligible,
Or non-eligible recycling, like the industrial and wasn't there,
not to my knowledge.
or am I wrong?
We'll still have a section there for non-eligible. We just got to clear off a little space. Whether we get a bid or not, it's kind of been up in the air, so,
So-
but there will be space for it.
Say somebody that's not eligible, they could actually take to the waste site for recycling and then we put a non-eligible spot. Am I right?
So who recycles it once it gets there?
Well, there's a cost to the non-eligible that goes out of it. So it's gonna be borne by the taxpayer. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, taxpayers shouldn't be paying for businesses and commercial entities. I mean, like, the taxpayers are paying for their own garbage pickup and we all pay for recycling right now. I follow through more on this ineligible. And so where does it go? Is it hived away somewhere, carted off somewhere, or?
To the mayor, just let me get some time and I'll do some more digging on this and I'll come back with that, okay?
No problem. Thank you.
Quinty West has taken the lead on mobile hazardous waste. And when the prices come in on the RFP, each municipality will know their numbers and be able to either opt in or opt out for hazardous waste.
Jesus God.
So these are directly from CMO where things should be directed. So questions regarding general recycling questions, bin requests, collection schedules, missed collections. They're directing people to their website, circularmaterials.ca/ONT. Inquiries about contractor services, program inquiries, or the transition to producer responsibility can be emailed to a customer service number or to their 1-877 number. Any questions with regard to the legislation or how the provincial legislation impacts you can be directed to our MPP, Rick Brzee, and his MADOC office and his number are there. And he also has a toll-free number. The mayor and I have met with the MPP and advised him that's where we will be directing any questions with regards to the overall legislative impact on any given person. But again, we will probably be getting the phone calls, and this will be essentially the decision tree that our frontline staff will be using.
And at that meeting, we both echoed our grave concerns about the impact that this is going to have on our residents, our institutions, our commercial buildings, and recycling in general. And it cannot impact our waste site, as Councillor Fleet has said.
And I think the clear bag policy will be a big deterrent in terms of that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So with that, that's the presentation.
Well, thank you, Kelly. And now you mentioned that is going to go up on our website.
Correct.
Okay, maybe each of those slides can also be posted on our Facebook as a little compendium of slides, as an information item as well.
Sure. We'll work
Okay.
with Cindy and Lucas on.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions? Okay, be it resolved that council receive the interim CIO report entitled Recycling Update Transition to Extended Producer Responsibility EPR. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to table the draft asset management plan community survey, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Councillor Valleycat. Okay, Kelly has worked on this. What we did is we looked at Kingston's and we looked at Quinte West's to get a sense and a flavor for how to craft one for our community. I'm going to turn it over to you, Kelly, and then I have a question at the very end.
Thank you, Your Worship. So our target was about a 4 to 8 minute survey. Both the city of Kingston and Quinte West were probably in the 15 to 20 minute length. I did both of those as part of the research for this. Also, it's not just a matter of, getting the public's feedback. We were, phrasing the questions such that we were also providing them information. So trying to give information as well as to get information. And there's several in there that, have dialogue. We're also looking that perhaps the mayor will do a cover sheet that will go out with the mailing. The report speaks to mailed out to the residents, directing them to the website. And anybody that can't do it via the website could come into the office and have somebody assist them with that. So, 8 questions, including a free form at the end. using ranking where we can to try and get a sense of, what the community's priorities are. And this will also help us frame, the public meeting that will happen after this and help the CAO and the mayor frame the whole discussion for the public meeting to get the most feedback, and we can use this as a reference document going forward. So the questions are in front of you, but please consider them draft. We're open to suggestions as to how to proceed. We do need a SurveyMonkey full license rather than just the demo to reach the entire community, and those prices are in their staff report.
Are there any questions? I have. Thank you very much. I have reviewed it with you already, and I really appreciate the effort that you did in pulling this all together. Just a couple of questions for clarification for myself. As you mentioned, if someone, I guess we're going to mail in our next newsletter. When's our next newsletter, Lucas? Oh, Jesus, that's not going to work. How are we going to get this out to everybody? How are we going to, all the taxpayers?
So the report Corey and I put together a rough estimate. So we've got 4,556 addresses. Postage is $1.15. Envelope photocopying, saying is additional quarter. So we're looking at about $6,300 to do a mail out with a link to the website or a QR code and ads in the newspaper. And rather than having paper copies, because if the way SurveyMonkey works, if you have a paper copy, then somebody has to sit down and implement it. That if somebody came into the office, we'd have it set up on the computer, and Hannah or Julianne or Lori or Ron can help them walk right through it. I mean, in 4 to 8 minutes. But our first priority would be to have people do it either on their phone or on their iPad or laptop.
The other thing too is we probably could enter into a relationship with the library. They have all those computers.
Have
and
the
everything.
public
Somebody
access
could bring
computer.
their letter in and key in the address and do it right there as well,
Yeah.
if they feel confident enough to do so. How do we ensure that it's only one application per household?
You can't,
Yes. That's what we heard.
so that if we had an email registry, you could limit it to the people that receive the email, but we don't have that.
I guess one of the questions, can we have people put in their address?
Generally, these things, and I know both the city and the
Confidential.
Quinte West were confidential, but there is
I wouldn't want it to be slanted, like, by somebody doing multiple ones to make a point or something. But I guess that would have been their concern up there as well, in Kingston and in Quinte West.
well, in Kingston and Quinte West, you have to register on their site in order to get it. So I already had one for the city of Kingston. So it's their engagement page.
Okay.
So that's one way to limit it, but engagement pages are pretty expensive to implement, and we don't have one, so.
Is there any way? Because, I don't want to necessarily influence our decision-making based on erroneous information as well. How about, we're not going to spend time on that right now. Let's think outside of this box and see if there's a way that we think we can better regulate and control what's happening. Yes.
You said, just like an activation number, you sent something to each household, and that there was an associated activation number with that letter. And when you're on SurveyMonkey, you're picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that activated your survey, and you have access to them once.
That's the way the OPP survey was that I did.
Yeah, I haven't worked with SurveyMonkey in a couple of years. I think we'll have to have a look at it.
But that is a way. That's what the OPP did with and that was SurveyMonkey.
Yeah,
The OPP did.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that with SurveyMonkey, you can limit it to one response per email
Okay,
address.
yes, then that's true too, yeah.
But I personally have 6 of them, so,
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly
sure
the same.
how effective that is, but
And with your reputation, you probably need more.
7, yeah, would be the correct number.
Okay,
N+1.
any other questions? Okay, I think I should also point out here too, although we keep referring to July 1st as when the province would like this all done, we're not going to meet that timeline, but at least we will be able to get back to them and show them that we have this in motion, because we want to make sure we do a thorough and well thought out job. So again, thank you very much, Kelly. Okay. Be it resolved that council approve the asset management plan community survey as presented, and further that staff prepare the survey for release with a deadline of June 4th, 2025 for presentation to council at the regular scheduled meeting on June 10th, 2025. Well, that will be our target for now. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, over to Public Works. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the Public Works Department update, please? Thank you, Councillor Valley-Cat. Thank you, Councillor Flaler. Are there any questions of Ryan on his report? Yes, please go ahead. Oh, that's good to, yeah. We opened it, when was it? When did we open that, Ryan?
To the mayor, would have been the first week of April, I believe.
Okay, yes, go ahead, Deputy Mayor Marsh.
To the mayor, I have heard it from a couple of residents who were very thankful that we did that. I would suggest, something we were gonna try to do on weekends, I would suggest just give them another 30 days. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm
Yeah.
just curious.
Okay, why don't we make it no until the end of May?
Yep.
Okay, the end of May. If we could get that out there, okay, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none? Be it resolved that the council receive the Public Works Department update report as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to table the capital project updates, April 22nd, 2025, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Valley-Cat. Okay, questions, and over to Ryan.
I'll just speak quickly to the the first project we have on the go. This was going to be due to funding to see if we could get money for this lighting at our two shops. This has been a problem in our public works building for multiple years. Guys are tripping over themselves, can't even see what they're doing half the time. So we had to kind of make the judgment call to get some better lighting in there. With that being said, the way it's looking right now for our Stoco Samdone repair, we're going to come in well under budget on that. So it could be a place where we use that money there instead. If there's any other questions on any of the projects, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, I just want to go down to the second page, the three bridges. We indicate that designs completed for Kinlan Bridge, but our first bridge of priority is Queensboro, is it not?
Through the mayor, that's correct.
Okay.
So they've come up with a design for Kinlan Bridge is the one they've sent me. These bridges are all pretty much identical.
Okay.
All three are basically like for like. So if they've completed the design on one, that's indicating that three are basically done. But our intention is to just do Queensboro this year.
Okay, and do you have a tentative start date on that, or are you waiting on something?
Yeah, that's correct. We're still waiting to see when these are going to be delivered.
Okay.
And as soon as we kind of get that time, I'm going to sit down with Tim himself and we're going to go over what's needed on our end and what he needs on his end. And then we'll start getting a cost list together.
Sweet, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none. Be it resolved that council receive the capital project updates April 22nd, 2025 as presented. All in favor? Thank you very much, Ryan. Could I have a move in a second to table the asset study report summary, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Valley-Cat. No. Okay. Any questions on this? This is what I referred to in my opening remarks. Are there any questions? Yes, please go ahead. Deputy Mayor.
The one I was looking for through the public works was, when I look at it until I drive there, it's Bridge Street. Where does that fall?
Fall as in I would have to go back through that study and see exactly what it speaks to. Yeah, through the mayor, I can get that information and let you know about that. Yep.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none. Be it resolved that council accept the 2024 asset study report summary as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the food vendor RFP decisions? Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councilor Valiquette. Thank you, Councilor Fleeler. Any questions on that? Yes, please go ahead.
Your worship, just seeing in here, right in between Duffer's Chipwagon and Street Thai Food, and it says here their previous agreement was an annual rental fee of 2,100. I guess that's where I was wondering what's above it, because it's a single occupancy and none of them were above 2,000. So I just didn't know
I'm sorry.
where the 2,100 came from.
Is that what they paid last year?
Correct. So that's what
Yeah.
Cindy went back to them and
That's right.
said that that's what she's prepared to recommend to the committee. So both of them are at 2,100.
And that's what they paid last year.
Yep, that
Is it
makes
okay?
sense, but that's what then I saw 24, 25, 26.
okay.
Thought, why are they different?
Okay. Okay, so are you okay with that?
Do we have a tentative, like is Cindy prepared kind of a tentative plan like we discussed before, them being in separate locations?
Yes, the Duffers will be where it always is, and the Thai one is going down by the stage. Any other questions? And all parties are pleased. So that's another good thing.
Okay. Like the working together has been discussed.
That's right.
Okay.
And big thank you to Cindy and Rochelle
Yes.
for sorting this out. So
Yes. Any other questions? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the food vendor RFP report as presented, and further that council approve both Duffers Chipwagon and Street Thai Food to operate as food vendors at Twee Memorial Park for a 3-season term. And further that both Duffers Chipwagon and Street Thai Food be approved for a seasonal lease rate of 2,100 plus HST per season. All in favor? Just also to let everybody know, the woman that's doing the Thai food lives in Tweed. And her kids go to school here, and she had been doing it in Belleville, but she wanted to do it here. So I think it's another supporting a local business, which is wonderful. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the bylaw enforcement officer update for March 2025? The log report and the statement of revenue and expenditures as of March 31st, 2025. Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions on said report? Yes, Councillor Fleeler, please.
Not a question, as far as the report goes, but could I have permission to speak directly to the bylaw officer? There's an issue that I want to go over. I think I briefed Kelly on it just a wee bit. And if necessary, I can talk to him again before I do that.
I would deal with Kelly, and then the two of you decide the course of action, okay?
Good, yeah.
if you want to, and it'll probably won't be me, it'll be Ron. Kevin is usually here Wednesday mornings, and the three of you sit down and go through it. I think would be the easiest answer. Yeah.
That'll work, yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll deal with that. Is that okay when Ron gets here, which is on May 5th?
I think that.
Okay, so then we'll set up a time that week then, okay, for the three of you. Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Excuse me. Seeing none, be it resolved that the council receive the March 2025 Tweed bylaw operations log as presented. All in favor? Committee reports. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the Building Inspection Services Board, BSIB, reports from March 2025 and statement of revenue and expenditures as of March 31st, 2025. Move in a seconder, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions on said report? Again, I'm happy to see, like, all of these new permits being issued in our municipality. It's a good sign, and there's more good news coming. Going to be very exciting. Okay, be it resolved that council receive the Building Inspection Services Board, BISB, report as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Bylaws. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2025-36? A bylaw to approve and authorize a dissolution agreement dated this 18th day of November 2024 between the Center and South Hastings Waste Services Board and the Corporation of the City of Belleville, the Corporation of the City of Quinte West, the Corporation of the Municipality of Center Hastings, the Corporation of the Municipality of Marmora Lake, the Corporation of the Municipality of Tweed, the Corporation of Municipality Township of Tyendinaga, the Corporation of the Township Sterling Rodden, the Corporation of the Township of Madoc, and the Corporation of the County of Prince Edward. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table that, please? Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeMarsh, thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions? We've already had a discussion on this. Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-36 be read a first, second, and third and final time. Passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of April 2025. I currently have that agreement in my bin and I will sign that. Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2025-37? Bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw 2012-30 as amended for property on Hungerford Road. Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Be it any questions on said bylaw? Sorry. Seeing none, and be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-37 be read a first, second, and third and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of April 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2025-38, a bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw 2012-30 as amended for property on Rapids Road? Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions on said bylaw? Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-38 be read a first, second, and third and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of April 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Items for consideration. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the Tweed and Hungerford Agricultural Society request permission of council to install a new entrance onto the track at the fairgrounds at the east end of the grandstand? Move in a seconder, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh.
Mayor, that's a move to approve.
Pardon me?
I was moving to.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, thank you. Seconder? Thank you.
I'll second it, but I won't prove it.
That's okay. Thank you very much.
Can I do that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, seconded, that means you're getting it on the table. It's open for discussion now. Thank you. Okay, discussion.
okay,
Go ahead.
okay, your worship, thank you. I don't want to impede the progress of the Agricultural Society, but I went over there and measured that. I went over there, I spent an hour and a half over there just looking at that, trying to figure out, is it safe? Is it not safe? There's 24 feet between the guardrail of the steps at the curling rink to the cement bollard at the hydro pole. And if you put a driveway through there, I don't think those cement bollards are gonna be substantial enough to be accepted by Ontario Hydro, even though that's on our property. There's also 3 transformers on that pole. The pole has a cant on it. I would say rough estimate is leaning 3 feet towards the curling building. If somebody, and I looked at it, you can wheel a trailer in there, but you're gonna have to get rid of a whole pile of parking spots. You wheel a 30-foot trailer in there, you're gonna have to be in the fire lane and then turn in. It can be done quite easily, but the thing that I'm really concerned about is the safety because of that hydro pole. And actual fact, when you get over to the it goes through the fence right there, there's only 22 feet between there and the property line, I think. Now, I don't know where the property line is, but from the steps, there's 22 feet. And you only need 10 or 12 feet for an entranceway. And it's only an entranceway. I understand that as well, but the thing that really concerns me is I don't know if we need to talk to Ontario Hydro about that, even though that's on our property. But if somebody hit that pole and dropped those transformers, if those bleachers are full of people, they're all dead. It's a steel structure. They're all dead.
So, but
I
are
don't-
they talking about cars? It's cars. They're not talking
It-
about, go ahead, please.
So I'm not for or against this. It just seems like a odd ask without any sort of explanation for us. Like,
What- It's for the Derby. There's a letter. Did you see the
I
letter?
didn't see the letter.
Okay, there's a letter with it.
Okay.
And in the letter, they explain it's because they currently come over off of that Elvis Road there, and what happens is it wrecks the grass and stuff, so they want to go in that way. And it's for the demolition derby, and it's for the cars to go in on this. Did you not see that letter?
Yeah.
And yes, only in and not out. And so I just want to see why he doesn't have that.
I do have it.
Oh,
I
okay.
I must have missed it. when I
Okay,
was going through.
okay.
I apologize.
Okay, I'll give yourself a minute to read it then. And you're taking away time from the hockey game just because that you didn't do your homework.
Nobody here wants to watch the Sens win anyway, so.
Oh. While he's looking, go ahead.
So your worship, the other thing too is have we talked, like we always say that we should talk to everybody involved. Have we talked to the curling?
Well,
people?
that would be my.
Have we talked to Ontario Hydro? And I'm not trying to stop them from doing things that might be the best way to do things, but I'm sure concerned about the safety of the whole thing. If somebody knocked that pole down and you could knock that pole down.
So that black dot there on the map, is that the pole you're talking about?
Mhm.
I don't know.
And I agree, I mean, the curling club should be talked to for sure.
Yeah, so your worship, that is about where the pole is right there.
Okay.
And you can see to make that turn, you'd have to be over in this lane right here, and there's no parking right there anyway. But
It's just a car we're talking about though, right? Or is it?
yeah, but they're pulling trailers in there. Is that not what it's for? Pull the trailers in?
It's,
I'm not sure, but 24 feet is plenty of room. To pull
It
a
is,
trailer.
it is, but we gotta be safe. That's the thing. I wanna make sure that we,
Your worship, I think the curling club does need to be involved.
That's-
I believe if we defer to the next council meeting and ask
100%.
for their comment,
Mhm.
like at least we do need to get an answer done or an answer right away so they can
yep,
get the work done if we approve it.
Yeah.
So like just even a couple weeks and we'll get the curling club's input.
well, actually, what I would like them to do is to go to the curling club. Okay, because it is like, it's not our curling club, it's an independent. They check with curling club, they get back to us straight away, and like you say, we make a
Yeah, let
decision.
them know that when we need to.
Yeah,
if
we need it
could,
by the
let
next
them
meeting.
know what date to make it work for the next meeting.
The next meeting is May 10th or something? Pardon me? Okay, we need it by May 13th.
Well, we would need it prior to
Yeah,
May
You'll get-
8th or whatever that
yes,
is.
the Thursday before. Yes, go ahead.
your worship, could we also get some input from the Ontario Hydro? I just, I'm so, like, I'm so afraid of that thing, honest to God. If that hit the ground, it'd kill everybody in those bleachers,
Yeah.
for sure. And
Take a fair bit. to
take a
look.
fair bit to knock it down, but it's
They
already
have to be
leaning,
moving speed.
it's already leaning 3 feet towards the.
Well, then maybe we should get them to come in and fix it.
It's
as a
our
pole.
pole.
Oh, our pole. And we got 3 of their transformers on our pole.
It's for the curling rink, the
Mhm.
arena, and
Whatever it is.
might be the ball diamond in the white building too, but that's also our,
They were out looking at that pole the other day when I was.
and we, and
They
your
were.
worship, we did have them over there at one point, Deputy Mayor Trainer and I looking at that situation, trying to figure out a way to put it in the ground. And
Yes, go ahead.
Through the mayor to all of council, there are guidelines, just from planning and development side of things with Hydro One that they have requirements and setbacks for different, types of builds, right down to even fence construction. So I'm sure they'd want to see some kind of buffer zone or something implemented there. Just for council's information, Hydro One would probably want to be consulted on that anyway.
Or like
their
Deputy Mayor,
guidelines.
thank you very much for that, Lucas. Deputy Mayor Demarche, as he just mentioned, trying to get Hydro to do something quickly is going to be difficult. Go ahead.
Just in passing, I spoke to one of the hydro workers and he had kind of brought that up at some point. We should look at putting this underground if possible. It sounds like in the past, this might have been in the back of our minds that this might be an issue, but I believe there is a quite a cost with putting something like this underground with what's on this pole. And unfortunately, we would bear a lot of that cost if we were to do that. So just a FYI anyway.
And that's why we didn't do it at that time.
Okay, so then I guess there's two things here then, like we do want to hear from the curling club on this, like, you know, what, personally, I have no problem with it. But we need to hear from the curling club, and now Lucas has just raised that Hydro has restrictions and guidelines that are gonna have to be consulted as well. Who would do that then? Would they have to reach out to Hydro? Because this is not something we want to do. How does that work?
Yeah, if it's going to be the Fair Boards project, I'm assuming this is on our shared land. The
Yes.
proposal, yeah. Someone's going to have to take the lead on the application to Hydro One. I'm assuming it would be them if it's their project.
Okay, so then there'll never be a decision made, probably for this year, if we're gonna have to wait for, how long does Hydro usually take on these kinds of things?
4 years.
They'd be better off to walk into the office and ask for help. It might move it along quicker, but I do also want to remind everyone that the Fair Board is actually trying to work with us.
Yeah.
Moving
And I-
forward, and I don't
not-
wanna sour the relationship as we're
But I mean,
trying to get this done.
the one thing though is we have to abide by the guidelines that Hydro. puts in place.
Absolutely.
So it's not us
absolutely.
that's souring it.
That's-
I'm fully, like I say, I'm fully in support. I mean, looking at that area, and I know when we have our Kiwanis dinners there, Terry's always parking in that area. There's lots of room around there. Lots of room. But I mean, if Hydro is going to make it difficult, but we have to follow the guidelines. I mean, now that you have raised them and shared that with us, we know that there has to be a consultation that goes on.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. It's just part of risk mitigation as well, probably.
Okay, so I guess then I don't see any of us having a problem with it other than other than Councillor Fleeler.
Well, your worship, I'm not trying to throw stones. I just want to make sure
No,
that we
no.
don't lose.
Well, I
any-
shouldn't say you have a problem with it. You're just citing
I
things that
want
we
this
have
safe-
to
Want it
investigate.
done safely. I
That's right.
just,
So I think then the resolution might read something like, be it resolved that council defer the decision for this matter to give time for the Tweed Hungerford Agriculture side to contact Hydro One and the curling club for their input in the request to install a new entrance onto the track at the fairgrounds and east of the grandstand. Well, I don't have to say anything. Somebody, my little radar from MASH out there has already done it all already. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, yeah, it's all of these things that you have to take into account. Anyway, we'll work with them as soon as they get all of this done, bringing it back to us. Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to table the request for a letter of support, West Nile Preparedness and Prevention Plan 2025? Moving a second. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Any questions on the letter of support? Seeing none. Be it resolved that council authorize staff to prepare a letter of support to Southeast Health Unit regarding carrying out larviciding activities to prevent or control West Nile virus in our area if deemed necessary. All in favor? Thank you.
Mayor, just gonna ask one question.
No, you had your chance.
Have we seen with the outbreak of measles, has anything come through from Noble? Any preparedness for that, or is that out of our,
I haven't seen anything here.
no?
Could I have a mover and a seconder to the request for exemption of tax late fees? A resident has submitted a request for an exemption for paying a tax late penalty. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Mover and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Kelly, could you just walk us through that?
And there's also attached a note from Julianne. Basically, we have the number for 23 and 24. So no problem waiving that. MPAC has made their decision.
Okay.
I'd suggest that we waive it for 23 and 24. Having said that, the decision from MPAC hasn't been made on 25, but these, it's not a huge number, but also in dealing with MPAC, you never know what decision they're going to make from one year to the next. They may agree this year and disagree next year. So waiving it for the years that we do have the MPAC decision and have the other pending a final decision from MPAC, I think is the prudent response.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Be it resolved that council directs staff to waive the late fees on taxes for this property.
For 2023.
2024. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, we're going to be moving into a closed meeting. It'll be relatively a short meeting. Could I have a mover and a seconder to move into close, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Councilor Valiquette. Be it resolved that council go into a closed meeting at Laurie. 7:18. All in favor? Thank you.
You got 12 minutes.
Okay. Notification of closed meeting. Council held a closed meeting during the regular council meeting pursuant to section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25 as amended to consider the following matters. B, personal matters about an identified individual, including municipal or local board employee. Could I have a mover and a seconder to direct staff, please? Thank you very much, Councilor Valiquette and Councilor Fleeler. Any question? Oh, no, there's no questions on the closed meeting. Be it resolved that staff follow council direction from the closed meeting. All in favor? All in favor, thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table correspondence information, please? Thank you, Councilor Valiquette. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. I have a couple that I would like us to bring forward and support. Oops. Here we go. Where are they? Oh, they're all gone. Darn it. It's almost all of them there. Request for support. Oh, yeah. Okay. First of all, just going over the correspondence. Okay, it was our announcement for our new CAO. The Warren Caucus email, I've got another one that I'll be sending out. The notice of application of a draft subdivision on River Street West. Anything there before we go down to request for support? Okay, I wanted to support 15.8.2, 15.8.3, 15.8.4, and 15.8.5.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay,
58 too.
15, I'm sorry. 15.8.2. Sorry, my numbers are all blurred there. They were typed over top of one another. Yeah, 15.8.2. Pardon me? No, that's right. Are there any questions? Do we need to move in a second or now for each of those? Okay. Oh, for one for all of them. Okay, could I have a move in a seconder? Are we okay with the ones that I've tabled? Okay, could I have, pardon me?
I got a blurb there, but maybe I better not say it. Might get in trouble.
Okay. Could I have a move in a seconder to table approval for requests of support for 15.8.2, 15.8.3, 15.8.4, and 15.8.5? Move in a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. All in favor? Thank you. And then down below, there's just a couple of items from me. The one that I wanted to make sure everybody had a look at was item 15.9.3. This article, like, you know, and it's true because I've looked at the various platforms for both for the leading parties, the Conservatives and the Liberals, and there is really no reference to our rural communities, like in, you know, in support and whatnot. And I will admit, I go back to the comment, and I haven't heard anything from Carney, but Polyev did make that comment at a meeting at Aurelia that basically criticized all the mayors for trying to gouge the taxpayers again because we're all flush with cash. So I don't know what would be coming through that individual. But anyway, that was one that nobody is addressing that in this election, and nobody basically addressed it in the previous election. Now there is a water and sewer fund which has just been announced. We will table that in our next council package. Just been announced, and I was talking with the two CAOs and about what we might want to do for that one this time around, changing it up a bit. But so there is some funding coming from the province, and it's geared to rural communities, which is great as well. So 125 million, 175 million. So maybe we'll tap in. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Your Worship, I mentioned before that I did speak to the president of Good Roads. She's from small town Ontario as well. She understands what we're going through. Maybe we could link up with her and try to get something moving. I don't know, but she's very attentive. She was very concerned about.
I think then maybe what we do is like what we should do with Roma and with AMO. When we put in our application, we make sure we CC all of these entities so that they know that we've done something.
Yeah.
So that the person, the chair or the president or whatever it is of that organization, we could do the same. I think we should be letting them know from now on what we're doing. These other organizations. I won't go into it now. What we talked about Roma, and we talked about my meeting with the president. I'm going to follow up with her to find out what they've done with the information we've provided them with. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none. So we're good with all of that? Okay, be it resolved. Okay, could I have a mover and a second? Oh, no, could I have all in favor, be it resolved that the correspondence information be received and filed or acted on? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier, and thank you, Councillor Flaylor. No, all in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Think about
There we go. Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to table the committee board reports, committee reports from Sterling Rodden, Tweed Fire, and Center Hastings OPP. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on either sets of those minutes? Yes, Councillor, Deputy Mayor Marsh.
No questions, just there is, well, the boards do have centralized meetings now. We've been unable to attend, they've been so far away. However, there is one on Friday, at Kingston Police Headquarters, that Councillor McLaughlin is the co-chair. Him and I are gonna be going to that meeting just to see whether it's, well, the rest of them have been like in Timmins and Ottawa. And so Kingston's the closest one we've been able to attend, whether it's beneficial to us or not. It's just, other board members interacting with up to date, what's coming down the wire, what our requirements are, so. We'll see what that's about.
So there are no more district meetings?
This is a district meeting.
I mean, a police board, do you get together as a, like?
We get together now, CPAC is essentially
Okay,
the
so
board.
that's still,
It's still, this is just a regional kind of a meeting update kind of
Okay.
thing, learning session,
okay.
so we'll be attending that on Friday.
I assume you're flush with cash there, that your little committee's gonna fund all that for you.
No, actually, they put it on, so, but, the board will be paying the mileage too.
Okay, good, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the committee board reports as presented and discussed, thank you. Be it resolved that the conformatory bylaw, no, sorry, Jesus, oh God almighty. Okay, can I move in a seconder for the conformatory bylaw? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Be it resolved that the conformatory bylaw number 2025-39 be ready for a second and third and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of April 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a second to adjourn today's meeting? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Be it resolved that council adjourn at Laurie. There you go. Good meeting, gang.
Sure.